No rational person thinks that putting on pants and brushing your hair before leaving the house is inauthentic. Your podcasting voice is no different, and it might need some preening before it goes public. Hello and welcome to another podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. I am jealous of kids and pets. Well, toddlers, younger, I guess, and really all animals when it comes down to it. Because they can just wake up and do the thing they do. And be around people, still look cute, still be, oh, isn't that great? Look what, they're amazing. Humans, on the other hand, during our climb up, if you will, the evolutionary ladder, have this thing where we don't want people to see us until we are ready to be seen. The face, the hair, the body, the things that we are, that make us us, that are definition of authentic, we want to try and tamp down some of those things. And it's kind of universal. Really, the world over. I've traveled a lot, and I've seen cultures kind of all over the place, and in most places, people do, even in developing nations that I've seen, people do tend to do a little bit of cleanup before they encounter other human beings, inside their household as well as outside of their household. So, kind of a universal thing. In fact, we've got entire, and I promise, by the way, I'm going to get to podcasting in just a moment, but let me finish the metaphor here. We have entire industries that almost everyone in every culture around the world uses to make sure that our authentic self is actually not, at least not the way that we woke up that particular morning. And I'm talking about things like just grooming in general and clothes. Entire industries are built up to cover up, hide, change, if you will, that thing we put forth to people. I'm not talking about beauty and fashion. Those are additional layers on both of those initial industries. Really, just, we want to look better. And we're willing to spend money to make sure that we look, if not great, at least better. Which makes me wonder why we struggle, why we continue to put forth. We need to be authentic. We need to sound authentic and be authentic. And if we hate our voice, and we have to just deal with it. And to a degree, you're right. I mean, we can't fundamentally change your voice. I mean, look, if I wanted to be 9 octaves deeper than I am right now, it's not going to happen. This is the voice I've got. But I can do things to enhance the voice. I mean, this is the hair that I've got. I can't change that. I guess I could put on a wig. But that's pretty obvious. But I can change it. Same thing in podcasting. Same thing for our voices. We can affect the way that we sound. Fundamental change, not necessarily. Although you'd be amazed what actually can be done. We can change various things. But we're resistant to do it. We're resistant to that. Now, pro audio people are going, what are you talking about, Evo? I clean up the voices of every track that goes through. And I don't disagree. I do the exact same thing. But for a lot of other podcasters out there, they think that what goes into the mic is the way it works, and that's it. But we know it's not the case, right? We know we can do some cleanup. We know we can clean up our voices in every voice that we do, but really it's our voice. And so sure, like me, for example, every single time if you've listened to the 15, 16 now episodes of this season, you've heard my authentic voice that's gone through 6 filters. Yeah. Before you hear it, what I'm hearing in my ears right now as I record is quite different than what you hear when it gets to you, because I have passed my voice through 6 filters. And by the way, it's the exact same 6 filters every time. Now, my pro audio friends are going, wait, what? Hold on. You shouldn't apply any filtering until you know the way the voice sounds first. No, not true. I mean, I'll let it be true for them, but I'm telling you, you don't have to accept that as a truth. You can actually apply the same filters if you know what it is that makes your voice sound better. Look, I brush my hair pretty much the same way every day. I pluck my eyebrows. Yeah, I pluck my eyebrows. Pretty much the same way. Apply foundation, do the various things that we do, put on pants. Kind of doesn't matter. What's really the way the voice is that day, the way the body is that day, these are the things I'm going to do. Same kind of thing. Now, in conventional wisdom, and why I'm talking about this today, is normally we say, let's clean that stuff in post. Record a raw, clean signal with no processing on it, which is exactly what I'm doing right here, and then apply those filters later. Well, here's why that's something we might want to think about changing. Have you noticed we haven't had a lot of real in-person, like in the same physical space connections with people for a long time now? Probably not anytime real soon. We're doing these distancing type things. Well, when we're doing a distancing thing, if I'm on a Zoom call with someone, maybe it's an interview for a podcast, or if they're using Squadcast, something better than that, my voice is my voice going through. I'm not applying any of those filters because that's all done in post. So I'm trusting the other person on the other end to make my voice sound better. And I probably shouldn't do that. It'd be like showing up on camera without my hair being combed and without any sort of foundations or other grooming things and assuming the person on the other end is going to fix it. So while the conventional wisdom was do it all in post, I'm wondering if the new hotness, thank you COVID-19 for nothing, will be some inline processing of voice before it gets out of my studio. And all of us, we're seeing some software that's already doing that, doing some cleanup of voices before it goes through. But I wonder if we're going to see a shift where we're now starting to process the audio before it goes to the recording substrate, if you will, which isn't anything terribly new. I mean, a lot of people have done it this way for a while. Some of the hardware that's out there will allow some onboard effects processing before it goes out. But those are typically thought of as, maybe you shouldn't do that, so you can let the engineer on the other end have a nice, clean signal. But I wonder if we should be doing that. If I should be doing that specifically, should I have a small little hardware stack here, which applies those same filters in real time as it goes out, so that when you hear my voice on a video that I happen to be on someone else's podcast interview that they've interviewed me, I want to make sure I sound like me. And I want to make sure I sound as good as I possibly can. So I wonder if the future, very near future, is us pre-processing voice before anybody hears it so we can correct our own authentic podcasting voice. Things to ponder. Other things to ponder, if you want to ponder this with me, and you would like to show some support for the pondering of things that I ponder, go to buymeacoffee.com/evoterra and sign up. Also, we have memberships now. Memberships means a monthly recurring withdrawal of a whopping $5. And if so, I've got some extra perks that I'm just starting to roll out over at buymeacoffee.com/evoterra. So consider a membership. Also, please tell just one other podcaster about podcast pontifications. Word of mouth is so important in the podcasting space. Sure, reviews are nice, and I do love it when you do reshare the content I put on Twitter or LinkedIn and Facebook, but by far, the best thing you can do is tell one person in your own authentic voice about podcast pontifications and recommend that they listen. Personal recommendations go a long ways. I'll be back tomorrow with yet another podcast pontifications. Cheers.